My name is Pastor James Nash of the St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church. It's located in the Sunnyside area, 8309 Brandon Street. And I've been at this church now for 32 years. I've lived in the community most of my life. Grew up in Old Sunnyside, and I decided that I would just make Sunnyside my place of residence until the Lord take me to glory. I love what I'm doing. And you take the situation with Worthing. I remember I had a group of people that came in that were very concerned about Worthing and the direction in which Worthing was going. And matter of fact, they used to meet here on Mondays in this place here, the Marcel Keys Activity Center. And I watched the passion and the compassion that they had for that school. Now, Worthing has a lot of my grandkids, my kids, came through Worthing. And so that too put me with a connection to them. And I've been troubled by some of the things that's happening at the school. I'm disturbed also that they've given this school a tag of being a dangerous school. Now, what we've got to do, and what my mindset is, and I'm going to organize a group of people that we want to come and we want to see some stats. I want people to show me some stats, information that show me that Worthing is a dangerous school. We had a press conference here during the shooting, and I think the media tried to play it off as though it came from within the school, but it's from outside. And I think that happens a lot of time when you have incidents that happen at the school, around the school. It seems to be portrayed that, especially these days in time when there are rumors about schools being closed, and for some reason or another, they're all mostly African-American schools, and that should disturb all of our people. But Worthing, especially because this school has been now in the community for years, and I'm afraid that if we don't step up and get some statistics and get somebody to show us something that this school is so dangerous, we're going to have a problem, because I do know that they were after this school one time trying to close it. But we as citizens, we got to be careful not to let this shooting incident become a catalyst for people to want to close the school now. Now, when they start putting a tag on it, such as being the most dangerous school in the district and all that, you got to look out, because there's some planning behind the scenes. I'm feeling that within my spirit, that it might be just enough to try to start a movement to close Worthing. We don't want that. You got a lot of good people at the school now. You got a good principal, a good alumni, and I'm pretty sure that we won't let these people close the school, even think about it. In other words, we're going to come together and say, look, take your hands off of Worthing. If you think about it, get your mind off of Worthing, because we're not going to allow it to be closed by a lot of rumors. So that's my feeling on that. Now, the passionate side of me about that is that I'm looking at some alumni now as we film this that are very concerned about the status of the school and the attention that the media is giving it, portraying it as such a bad school. I got a problem with that. So I'm going to be doing some things myself, gathering some people up, that we can let the public know, let the media know that we're not going to stand by and let this school be closed.
My name is Joyce Jones-Garrett, and I'm a 1970 graduate of Worthing High School. I grew up in Sunnyside. I've lived in the area for quite a few years, and then now I no longer live in the area, but that was just by choice. But I have such a love for Sunnyside, because not only did I graduate from Worthing, but I went to Grimes Elementary, I went to Fairchild, I went to Attucks, and I graduated from each one of those schools a better person. And I don't feel like those schools are detrimental to the well-being of our children. I think that they help our children. However, I look at things like he was talking about what happened last week with the shooting. Now, the media is doing their job. They're doing a fantastic job of getting the information out. But we have to realize that sometimes the media, even though they're telling the truth, they tell half-truths. They don't tell the entire story. When I first heard about the shooting, the first thing I heard was there was a shooting at Worthing High School and an 18-year-old student was killed. Well, of course, that was the truth. He was a student somewhere, and he was 18 years old, and the shooting did occur at Worthing High School. But what they failed to tell you was that that 18-year-old was not he was a former student at Worthing. He had been there when he was in the 9th grade, The shooting did occur on Worthing's campus, but it had nothing to do with Worthing High School. It occurred after school hours. It was not sanctioned by Worthing. It was an all-girls football game. Worthing does not have an all-girls football team, so you know that that could not have been the truth. They told half the story, and when you tell half a story, what you're doing is you're being deceitful by omission. They omitted to tell us everything that happened. So a lot of times that's what happens with Worthing. Now, in really thinking about this, I decided to go out on the internet and look at some of the things that are out there regarding Worthing High School. I did a search, just put in Worthing High School, and the first thing I saw was Wikipedia. I decided to go out to Wikipedia and see what they had to say about Worthing. Well, they talked about some of the people who were famous who graduated from Worthing. They talked about the demographics of the Sunnyside area, the demographics of the school, saying that the school was predominantly African American. All that's true. But one of the things that caught my attention and really got me to thinking about what the media does to us was the history of Worthing High School. In the history, there were 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph talked about the formation of Worthing, how Worthing was started over where Attucks is now, and how they moved over on Scott, and just general things. The individual that gave the money for Worthing High School, that was the first paragraph. Went on to the second paragraph. Now that was really an eye-opener. The very second paragraph under history said that in 2007 a student hit a teacher and was charged with felony assault because he caused her bodily harm. That was the second paragraph. The third paragraph talked about a study from Johns Hopkins University, Associated Press, I believe, and it said that Worthing was labeled as a dropout factory. Said that 40% of the students entering as freshmen never live to see their senior year. They do not graduate from Worthing. Also, I have to say this is in that when I looked at that, I went back and actually read the study. And the study talked about 14 schools in HISD. All 14 of these schools were either African American or Hispanic, all minority schools, and they were all labeled as dropout factories. Now, does that say that only minority schools are dropout factories? And if so, why? Or is that saying that they only targeted minority schools? Again, that's the way the media looks at things. Now, that fourth paragraph of the history, that fourth paragraph talked about the shooting last week. How it got there so quickly, I don't know, because I don't know who's responsible for it. But I will say this. Worthing High School has been in existence for more than 50 years. Can you tell me that in 50 years, our history consists of a student beating up a teacher, a shooting last week, and Worthing being labeled as a dropout factory? Is that all our history consists of? What about all the good things that happened? What about all the things that happened at Worthing in its 50 years that were good? I graduated from Worthing, graduated with honors, went on to college, graduated with honors, hold 4 degrees. All of that foundation came from little old Worthing High School sitting over there on Scott Street. There are good things that happen, but they never make it to the media. We only see the bad things. We only see the students that do wrong. Now, you're talking about, he was talking about them thinking about closing Worthing or wanting to close Worthing. If they close Worthing, where are those students going to go? Are they going to go to Sterling or Madison? Both of those schools are already overcrowded. You say Worthing students are so bad, is moving them from Worthing to one of the other schools going to change the child? You're moving that child, you're not moving that child's attitude or that child's low grades or that child's discipline problem. You're just moving the child. Is that going to solve the problem? That's not going to solve the problem. You say that the schools, the students are bad, the teachers are bad. I don't believe that that's true. All of this is nothing but media hype. It's the media trying to make us look bad. It's the media trying to make Worthing look bad. The shooting occurred on Worthing's property, and that's all that it has to do with Worthing. Had it occurred across the street, same problem. Now, University of Houston had a rape in February. This was the second one in less than a year. Does that make University of Houston a bad school? I say not. I know quite a few people who have graduated from the University of Houston. I know quite a few prestigious people who hold degrees from the University of Houston, and they're good people. It's just something that happened. So bad things happen at good places. So, don't put Worthing in that light. We are, and I say we because although I no longer live in the area and although I no longer have a child at Worthing, I purposely moved into the area in 2004 so that my youngest child could graduate from Worthing because that's where he wanted to get his diploma from. I only lived in the area long enough for him to get his high school diploma from Worthing and then moved out of the area again. But I still have Sunnyside Pride because that's who I am. This is where I came from. I am a product of this area. And being a product of this area, I am proud to say that Worthing is not the school that the media tries to make us out to be.
Again, you said about the media portraying Worthing as such a bad school. 50 years, that's a great history behind this school. And I can tell you can give up a lot of people that I promise you that would deny the fact that that school is that type of a school. So what we got to do, we got to try to get the people, the parents, to participate more with the teachers and not go down and be so confrontational.
Absolutely.
And don't let this be the catalyst for parents and other people in the community to talk about how bad the school is based upon what the media said. Because we know about half-truths. Well, see, you call them half-truths. I just call them lies. I call them lies, okay? And one thing about a lie, it can go 20 miles before the truth get around the corner. So we got to be careful with that kind of stuff. So we want to be careful in how we portray this school. But I do want to say this, as we get ready to close this session, that we want to organize. I want to get a group of people together with a positive outlook, a positive conversation about this school. And I think what happened, we need to get the media out. Get the media, call them out, and let them hear all of these positive things about the school. Because you'll never convince me that 2 or 3 different things that happen in school will make the entire school look bad. I don't agree with that. So we've got to get busy putting together some alumni, get some people together, some positive stories with their children, their grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and we got to call these people out and let them hear that side of the story, and then we'll see if they'll publish that.